Welcome old family and new family to BoomBappED, capital ED. This is your host, Brandon White, aka Bushido Garvey, as I'm known in many MC circles. We got brother Rob Lowe on the tech. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat this afternoon. We got the Emcee, the Rochester legend, 10 toes deep, at least 10 plus years in this art, in this craft. We got brother Euphony Barz.
What's good,
What's going on, big homie? Everything good with you?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Good. And thank you for speaking into the mic, man. I appreciate it. You know, everybody, sometimes we got to remind folks.
They told me back in school, man, the mic is always live. So
Indeed, man. For those who don't know, BoomBappED is an honest, open, and clear-headed exploration of education and cultural issues focused on, but not limited to, the Rochester area through a hip-hop lens. So, youth, if you can, just real fast, you know, just in a 1-minute resume, just tell folk who you are, what you do, and what makes you tick.
Yeah, I mean, I go by the name of Euphony Barz. You know, I'm a spitter, man. I like lyrics, man, but I like good music as well, man. So, like, my goal is to just try to mix both of those, you know, to the best of my ability, you know, and just something that the people can, you know, vibe to, you know.
Indeed. So, you know, I ask this question a lot before we really get into the heavier topics. Off air, we were talking about the commonality between, because you said like I teach English, so therefore I really love it. But I was just saying that I love it no more than you do, right? Because you're a practitioner, and just because I talk about it or instruct it, don't necessarily mean I love it any more than a practitioner. So, but let's say you were an instructor, right? And you had to, and I asked Katona this question too, and you had to teach a class about lyrics and lyricism in hip hop. What would be, and you had to have 5 albums in your curriculum, what would be the 5 albums you would use to teach lyricism in hip hop?
You make me too sad.
Okay. I always loved the way Big L spit, man. Like when I was going to school, I remember the first time I heard Big L, man, and I was like, yo, this is crazy, man. And I just was playing the big picture like crazy. So definitely like, you know, I mean, it's so much out there, man. Like honestly, I'm gonna be honest, man. I be more into my own music, man. I really don't. I don't listen to a bunch. You know what I'm saying? I listen to music, but I can't say I just go back and forth through albums and different things like that. Cause you know, when I was younger, you know, my mom didn't let me listen to a bunch of hip hop and different things like that. So you know, a lot of my exposure to a lot of the hip hop that I love, like I was a little bit older when I found it. So you know, I would just tell somebody, man, just focus on you, man. That's where my lyricism comes. I mean, it's not really from what somebody else said. When I do this, I just describe me to the best I am. But there's a lot of people out here spitting who don't know who they are, and so it comes across on the mic no matter how much you really want to spit, man. So I just say, if you want to be a lyricist, man, find out who you are, and then start from there, man.
You know, it's you said 2 things that connected with me really well. One was this idea of connecting with self, and that being the primary source of your ideas and how you execute the craft, because for a while I wasn't really listening to a whole lot of people, and it wasn't because I had a problem with what was going on in the radio or in the culture or any of that. It was just like, yo, I really got to be focusing on what am I cultivating within myself to contribute to this culture, as opposed to always being absorbed with whatever somebody else is doing. That's thing one. Thing two, you saying that your mother wouldn't allow you to get into that as a young age just reminded me of me being the same. I really didn't. She and my father got more lenient as I got older.
Right.
Like maybe like in the teenage years. Right, but like, you know what I'm saying? I remember trying to buy Capadonna when I was like 12, 13, the Pillage. Right. And we were at Media Play. Remember Media Play? My mom's was like, wait, what's this? Capadonna? Milk the cow? Oh, no, you ain't gonna get this. And just embarrassed me in front of the cat. Right. So you have a similar experience.
Yeah, like, I remember like just mad songs. My mom wouldn't let me really play no music that had cussing in it or anything like that. So, you know, it was kind of hard, man, because, you know, but when I would go to my brother's house or different places, you know, I would be exposed to, like, you know, the things I was like, oh, yeah, that's fire, man.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, we all were exposed to crazy hip hop, man, because lyricism was so big in the 90s, man, that you could just go down the list, man. There's just so many people. Like, we grew up in like a special era, man. So
yeah. Do you think that there's anything, and I've asked a couple of older heads who rhyme, who are in like the 40s or late 30s, do you think that there's something that the newer generation can learn from the older, and something the older generations can learn from the newer in terms of lyricism?
I think some of the new generation is lyrical, though. I don't think lyricism has anything to do with a time. Maybe it's a certain style of music that you like, or maybe you got used to a certain, you know, tempo of beat, you know, a certain vibration that you define as real music. But I hear crazy rhymes all the time, you know, on the radio and in different places, man, because I appreciate, you know, the craft of the rhyme. Like, your song, you know, may not be a song that's, you know, politically empowering and stuff, but like I said, a lot of these people who are talking this politically empowering stuff is lost anyway. Yeah. So, you know, who am I to judge? Yeah. You had said it too.
I think the vibe in which the lyricism is articulated is different. And so some people will be like, oh, that's not lyrical, and really you're just identifying a different vibe. You're not identifying a different level of lyricism. Like, just a different way of doing it.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I think like Offset from Migos is crazy lyrical, man. Like, when I
hear Rob talk about that all the time,
I hear this dude spitting, son, this dude is saying wow stuff on the mic, man, that I don't hear nobody else is saying. And another thing I like to say, man, at the end of the day, man, I used to love Bone Thug. Yeah. And at the end of the day, Migos just basically mastered that Bone Thug vibe over trap beats. I mean, I still listen to Bone Thug to this day, man. So, you know, I'll take away, you know, anything from these young cats or anybody that's doing anything, man.
Word. And me and Rod talk about that all the time. Like, it's very lyrical, and it's not only is very lyrical, but it's a different interpretation. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same lyrical, miracle, spiritual, individual, residual. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a place for that. But like, they've decided to flip topics in a way that is just a new melody, and it changed the game.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, when I listen to the words, even that, you know, Takeoff, May Spit, or Offset, like, yo, if you listen to those, most people can't even rhyme those words, let alone at that cadence, man. So I mean, I just give respect where respect is due, man. You know, and that's really what it comes down to. It's tons of music to listen to. So listen to whatever you like, but don't hate on nobody.
I definitely agree with that, homie. So let's talk about this tape that you let me hear in advance. That I'm, you know, really grateful that I got to hear in advance, because it's really up there in terms of quality. It's with DJ Ease is hosting it. He's doing the cutting and the scratching and the official DJ stuff with it.
Right.
Can you tell the world about it a little bit?
Well, my mixtape, you know, coming out, Fly Beats and Lyrics Galore, is something that I've been working on for like probably 3-4 years. I've been working on this tape, you know, just trying to put it together, man. So it really, I mean, if you can listen, it really kind of describes that journey, you know, kind of that I've been through. You know, through 12 songs, man.
Indeed.
You know?
And these 12 songs are high quality hip hop. First of all, I got to take a break real quick to say peace to Sister Naima for listening. Same with Brother Joe Riv. Really high quality. Yes. Peace to Dough Getters, right?
You already know, Hustle, Jay Hustle.
Who you have a song with, right? Focus. Both y'all went in. I feel like, what is it about MCing where it's like competition but collaboration all at the same time? You know what I'm saying? What is it about MCing that really brings that out? You know, I asked that, right?
I know, that's good. That's a good question. I'm gonna be honest, man. For me, I'm gonna be honest, man. It starts here, because I always love the locks, and everybody in the locks is fire.
Go ahead, keep going.
But you know, for some reason, I will always skip Sheik's verse to get the Kiss verse or get the Styles verse. I mean, that's just what happened, man. It's not that, it ain't that, you know what I'm saying? Now I look back, I love Sheik. That's just how I did. So right, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, those who loved him, that's what it is. But like, when I spit,
I was late,
right, when I spit, I'm like, yo, I don't want nobody to skip my verse, man. Whether it's before or after, and I want my verse, if it's on a track, I want to skip that verse. To hear my verse, man. That's just how I do. And so, I mean, and it's not no competition, man, because, you know, I like the vibration, because it's honest. That's how it ends up being good music, because it comes from a good place.
Word. And that's kind of what you saw with Focus. That's what the track is called, right? Where You know, like that desire to be like, you know what, like I'm gonna be my best self on this track and not allow, but still have that competitive like nature of just being like, you know what, I gotta shine.
Right.
There's other people on this, I gotta shine. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It says a lot about how we learn too. Right, like a mix with collaboration, with competition, brings out some of the best in us.
I've been rapping with Az for years, and Az is nice, man.
Yes,
Az got crazy bars, man.
Yep,
so, you know, at the end of the day, man, that, you know, like you said, iron sharpens iron, man. So at the end of the day, you know, that's really what, you know, help me to be nice, man, when you're around other people that, you know,
that's right,
put in the work, man. And Az been putting in work for a long time, man. Like honestly, man.
Yep.
For a long time back in the day, man.
For sure. On the mixtape, you have a song, and I forget the specific title, but basically in the chorus you say you're looking for your higher learning, right?
I said the heat is on for the fire burning.
Okay.
I understand my higher learning.
So can you talk to us, you know, because in the traditional sense, higher learning is usually referred to like, you know, in terms of college or after high school education, you know what I'm saying, or university or whatever. What's your definition of higher learning? You know this is BoomBappED. We gotta talk. We gotta talk a little bit education.
You already know. Well, I mean, my definition of higher learning, man, is understanding what the ancestors left us, man. You know, I know a lot of people get super deep, man, and throw people off base, man, when you get into some things like that, man. But really, man, the ancestors really left the blueprint that we needed, man. I mean, and nowadays, you know, they practice our ancestral ways in secret. And it's obscure to us. You know what I'm saying? So when it's presented, so when I say, you know what I'm saying, you don't understand my higher learning, like it's beyond all that. It's based on, you know what I'm saying, universal law.
There was a question on Hip Hop Ed. Shout out to all the Hip Hop Ed folk. And just Naeem, I know you're part of that too. One of the questions, it talked about like hip hop being a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like that it's nothing. It's nothing new. It's just in a new form. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like because everything we do in hip hop is connected to everything we've ever done. And, you know, Nas had that line. What would he say? There's nothing new under the sun. It's not what you do or how it's done.
Right.
What we do is ancestral.
Right.
But how we do it is hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like so. You know, and again, that's just, it speaks to education. It speaks to learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever we learn, it's been learned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But our interpretation of it is what's the education.
But there's a lot of miseducation going on out here too. So, and you know, in this age where nobody really fact checks anything, and just because they see it somewhere, a lot of people really don't know. And so that's why, honestly, I end up listening to mainstream music more, man, because I just hear a lot of lost people trying to be lyrical, and like, I personally find that annoying. Like, I'm not dissing anybody's craft. Like, shout out to all Emcees and everybody. All I'm saying is like if you listen to my tape, you don't really hear me get too emotional on my tape. You know what I'm saying? True. You know, I don't get too emotional. It's not too emotional or you know, trying to find myself or anything. I'm just trying to make good music, present a product. You know what I'm saying? That comes from a special place.
Indeed, man. Indeed. So that's been a mission of yours for years at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking offline about some of the older venues that, you know, you used to rock at, I used to rock at. But you and Az in Safe Haven, you Az in Safe Haven were like started a little earlier than I did. But like there's still like that same class of like of venues, Penny Arcade, Milestones, Bug Jar, Dublin. See. That's why
let's go.
It goes back. Can you talk a bit about your education process as an MC between those times and this time, and how that parallels with what you've seen just change with hip hop in general?
Okay, well, yo, Bushido, man,
give it up to Bushido, man. Peace to Erie, because I see you listening, homie.
Yo, Bushido come with these wild questions, man. Yo, people who come up to Bushido, man, be ready, man. Bushido gonna hit you with that heavy.
Indeed.
At the end of the day, man, it's a grind, man. You just gotta stay focused, man. I learn every track I do. You know what I'm saying? I learn something. I spit conceptually based. You know what I'm saying? Usually I'm not gonna spit a verse randomly if it's, you know what I'm saying, for a concept. Because at the end of the day, man, when you're able to master music and marketing, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't want to be a starving artist, you have to find a way to make your music lyrical, and yet marketable. And that's really what the greats do.
You, lyrical and marketable. That's real.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to. And if you miss one of those, then you could be lost. But I mean, as far as learning, man, like shout out to everybody whoever ever let me rock, like even at the Steel and all that, like every performance, like that performance that you saw last night. That's I don't perform much. I'm gonna be honest. I might go a year without performing. When I perform, and I go all out just for the fact, of all those memories and all those times. I remember a time when we weren't getting paid for shows and we were just rocking. And then, Volatile just hit me saying, yo, I could bless you. You know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing. So seeing that transition actually means more to me from seeing it, from the start when we were struggling to get a show, we were struggling to promote. I mean, this is before social media. We were still running around the city, climbing up on walls, putting flyers up.
Indeed, packing tape, tape the flyers to the poles and the posts.
And honestly, Hassan, man, I used to love to see. Shout out to Hassan Mackey, man. I used to love to see him rock. Same. And when he would be rocking until the lights went off and they turned the speakers off on him and they started just shutting him down, and he'd still be spitting, man. I'm like, yo, man, that's dope. So it was definitely a healthy hip hop culture, that brought me to this point, in the rock to be able to release this tape.
Healthy culture brings great education. That's what I'm hearing you. When I'm hearing you talk about it, that's the conclusion I'm coming to, because you talked about your growth as an MC in terms of being, conceptual and understanding certain things about being yourself, marketable and lyrical, and exercising that, and you were able to do that in a communal space. You know what I'm saying? Where you was allowed to do that. Basically, it wasn't like everything was handed to you, because you still had to hustle. You still had to figure out how these venues operate. But you were in a culture that kind of enabled you to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about that a little bit more with the show that happened last night at the Buddha Pub. How was it from your angle? You know what I'm saying? Was it a reflection of that? You know what I'm saying?
It was, man. I mean, that's a lounge. I mean, some of the spots we used to rock at were like, like the shout out to the Dublin Underground. I mean, that used to be a wonderful place to rock. But I mean, that's like a nice lounge, man. It's like new age, and you definitely, like we were saying earlier off air, you can find people who aren't necessarily MCs, because a lot of the times, to be honest, if you go to a hip hop show, it's going to be a bunch of other rappers there versus, you know what I'm saying, people who are trying to receive music. So that's a wonderful outlet.
That's a fact, man.
And so, just being able to be up there and rock, I like to show off. I like when you spit your stop, take a couple pictures, spit your verse, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, my music isn't me, it defines me. So a lot of people are you might go up there like, oh, this is me. So you might, it's okay to pour your heart out, on a track. I'm just saying, this is just the definition. Is what you're experiencing.
Indeed. Can you talk about your name choice a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you Euphony? And
people mess my name up all the time, man. It's so funny.
I don't think I've ever messed it up, but it wasn't until I was listening to you on Lafayette Cafe that I retained the meaning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and again, going back to being an instructor, that don't mean I know everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I always forget. So Euphony, can you tell folk what that means, and then talk about its application to your art?
So when I was looking for a name, you know what I'm saying, I always been a thesaurus guy. So I typed in music. Yeah. And when I typed in music, I mean, this is on like an old computer too. We talking about I typed in music, and it came up, and it said euphony. And I, you know what I'm saying, I just like how it came. And then, and I just used to just go by Euphony. And then one day I was just snapping, and I was like, yo, first name Euphony, last name Barz. And then after that, it was Euphony Barz. So, that's just the vibe, man. I just like to bring, like, and as you say, I've become my name. I've become that definition. Like you said, it merges together so well, because euphony basically means harmony.
Right. Indeed.
And that's why I said in that song, if you really knew my name, you say we up honey. Because, my letters, if you switch them around, it says up honey. Facts. The same way, see what I'm saying? So it's that sweet sound, you know what I'm saying, that you get that make you feel good.
language is so fascinating. You know what I'm saying? The way you can just have so many interpretations for one word, just off of what the word is in the order. But then even if you flip up how you order the letters,
right?
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole other meaning embedded within that structure. It's like it's coding.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I encode my music. You know, a lot of people, you know, express they code openly. Like my music's definitely, you know, encoded with hidden jewels, but it's for those that are ready, man. You know.
Indeed. So we want to play a little game that we usually have with guests on Wayo. First of all, shout outs to Gaskell Watson. We appreciate your listenership. Erie, I'm gonna reach out to you. You know, I see you. I see the request. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what's up?
You know, I appreciate you recognizing the value of the questions too, brother. It's a little game called A-Side, B-Side, where basically you list the ups and the downs of a topic I present to you. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
A-Side, B-Side, streaming music.
That's so it's honestly it's kind of frustrating, man. Like the A-side is that, you know, you could get your music out to massive amounts of people anywhere at any time. Like I always say, like people ask you dropping a hard copy, like on a digital copy I can reach way more people. The downside of that is actually getting people to press play.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? So I mean
that.
that's really where that falls for me, you know. So it can get kind of frustrating, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just trying to keep making good music, man.
Facts. A-side, B-side, the woke era.
You know, it's the age of Aquarius, man. Everybody has to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that time is coming. I mean, it's a lot of fake consciousness. That's what I talk about. I mean, I feel like the woke era is affecting hip hop because hip hop is about being conscious, but there's a lot of people talking a lot of bogus things on this mic that don't really matter, and then they wonder why they don't get love, or then they end up bringing bad energy. And so it's like, just be yourself, man. Really research yourself, man, and who you are.
I understand.
And what it is that you do. And that's really the best way, you know, to do it.
A-side, B-side, we just got done talking about this too. Transitional lenses.
Yo, they take so long to be regular glasses again when it's cold, man. You'll be in a building with the shades on, but that's kind of lit. That's funny.
Shout outs to Mama Mel for listening, and I appreciate it. Actually, this is the only one I didn't plan. A-side, B-side, public education.
Self-education, man. Public education is gonna help you get a job. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be able to, you know, work and support yourself and, you know, do that to agree and spend a lot of money just to work for another person. And, you know, self-education will elevate you, man, so you can be your highest self. And I was always pro self-education.
Indeed, man. Is there a B-side to self-education?
The B-side to self-education is be careful what you wish for, man, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So you have to be prepared for that different point of view and everything, you know, that comes with it.
That's a whole fact, man. Let's talk a bit about working with MCs and other people who have the same value of lyricism real quick. Because you talked about Az. Who's been on the show twice.
Yeah.
When you're working with it, so let's actually do it like the A-side, B-side, working in a crew.
Working in a crew, I mean that's the age, yo. I mean, bands fight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different creative directions and, you know, understanding, you know, that people actually have. Honestly, I haven't worked with a bunch of MCs. Like you said, man, like I usually keep it in the family. Like me and Az got a bunch of tracks.
Right.
You know, me and Hustle got tracks. You know, me and Mr. Canal got a couple of tracks.
Indeed.
But yeah, I mean, I'm free to do tracks, man. I'll lay somebody's track. I mean, they better come with some bars, though, because they better know I'm going to be spitting. But, you know, I'm definitely down to collab. I haven't done a lot of collabing. You know, I'm looking forward to doing some more, you know, collaborations. Definitely, you know, got bars.
Indeed. And one collaboration with Az on that project, Zemin and Messafant, you had your last line was, I I can't pretend to remember the first line.
My
but
lyrics
you're
laced in fury, you putting faith in Siri.
Can you talk a bit about this this era we're living in? That's relatively what's the term, homie? What's the term? Man, where technology is fusing with
artificial intelligence.
Yeah, AI, but transhumanism.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk a bit about that, because that
I
line came from somewhere. It came from a knowledge set.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. I mean, even in the '80s, where somebody want to say, they've been showing us images of half man, half machine, whether it was RoboCop, the Terminator. I mean, so the things we talking about is nothing new, you know, to our lifetime. I mean, how long were we watching, you know, sci-fi stuff with Star Trek or Knight Rider? The car was talking to him. So I mean, the reality that we live in has been long thought of before now, and so now people are putting all their faith into these things. But as I said, they're losing valuable skills.
Indeed.
You know, that's gonna help them grow into a better human. You know, because even now, I have a hard time remembering phone numbers. Why? Because everything is a contact list. But I remember back in the day, you knew your aunt's phone number, everybody's phone number by heart. So now you're de-evolving your brain, basically, because now you're using your brain less. Yeah. So, you know.
That's a fact. And, you know, the irony, again, is we on, you know, social media right now and using it to... There's the A side, but the B side is what you just said, right? And I
mean, it's nice when you can say, "Yo, Siri, find Euphony Barz." You know what I'm saying? It's gonna bring it up, but it's like we don't put faith in that. You know what I mean? A lot of people live and die and do anything for an Apple. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not dissing it. You know, shout out to everybody, you know, who use whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's a fad at the end of the day, man. Just like anything else is, just like Jordans or anything like that. Don't make you whatever you is or whatever you're gonna be. You know? And I said it because it sound fly, to be honest. At the end of the day, you know, sometimes I say something it sound lyrical, but honestly, it's just to be fly, man. At the end of the day, man, because that's how it is, man. Like that's what I love about hip hop is the flyness. Once I touch the mic, you could talk about anybody, you could say anything you want to say, and be like, oh, that wasn't me. I was just being Euphony Barz, man. Terrell didn't feel like that about you. You know what I mean? So, you know, at the end of the day, man, it allows you to almost be like I hate to say it for lack of a better word, but like a superhero. It's your alter ego. So when you're seeing me perform, that's just an alternate form of myself. Man.
No, for sure, man. So we're running low on time.
Yeah, so much, man. I thought half an hour was gonna be a minute, right?
I'll tell you, every single time we have, almost like 80% of the time we have an interview, it goes by like this. We're like, this show need to be longer. You know what I'm saying? But just real quick, man, tell folks when they can hear the project. You know what I'm saying? Where they can follow you. You know what I'm saying? And all.
I got you. All right. The project is gonna be out towards the beginning of the year. There's a couple more things I got to do to tie it up. The album is already mixed. You know what I'm saying? The International Ease definitely did its thing. I appreciate that. It's definitely a good look. Shout out to Ease too. Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a ride, man. I called it Fly Beats and Lyrics Galore for that reason. You know what I'm saying? So you can know what you're expecting. I don't want I don't want anything misconstrued. You better hear bars and some good beats, man. And anything else you take away from that, you know, that's what you take away from it.
Galore,
too, man. You know Fly Beats and Lyrics Galore, man. You know, I got
Fly Beats and Lyrics sometimes galore, and I can vouch for that fact because as a person who got to hear it ahead of time, for sure. If I'm gonna throw this last question in here just because you got the creative juices going. Because we were talking about ease. Let's say that hip hop was a school building. What job would the DJ have?
The DJ keep everybody together, man. The DJ's like the middleman between your fans or the audience, you, because he's putting you out there and everything. He's like the intermediary between everything, you know.
So probably like a principal then.
Yeah, man. That's why it probably have to be the principal because you know he kind of makes sure that everything is good, man. Because you know my tape could be out, man, but the fact that the DJ, you know, I'm thinking old school, man. The fact you got MC, as far as I'm concerned, if you MC, you kind of gotta have a DJ, man. No matter how new or old school you is, man. MCs, yo, if you MC, man, you gotta get a DJ, man. Facts, man. Bars.
Yeah, I agree. As a DJ list MC, I still agree. You know what I'm saying? For sure. But Youth, man, thank you for coming through. Everybody, you've been listening to BoomBappED. Catch us on every Tuesday, 1:30 to 2 on WAYO FM 104.3. Check us out on Facebook and online as well, Mixcloud. We wish y'all a great week. Peace and progress.
Shout out, peace, man. Have a good one. Appreciate you, Bushido, man.
Like,
Shout out to everybody, man.
Indeed.
Reach out, man. Euphony Green.
Yes. Peace.